Bum, ba, da, bum. Number 12. We're
Number
feeling
12.
great. We're
Yes.
on the tail end of that sickness that everybody's got.
Yeah, definitely feeling
I'm
under the
fighting
weather.
it, but I think she's got it.
Oh, I'm at the thick part of it.
Yeah, you are. The very thick part of it.
Oh, stop it, sir.
Thick with two
202.
C's.
202.
So do you want to expand on 202? Nope.
Yeah.
Or is that just for us?
No, I can expand. I finally broke 200 guys out of this pregnancy. Woo woo.
Pounds, that is.
Yeah, I was about to say 25. Whoa. Yeah. It's the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life.
All right. So what's the topic of the day, Riley?
The topic is the calm before the storm.
Yep. And remaining calm during the storm.
Yes.
All of it. Everything storm related.
Yep. Because we're about to be in, again, the thick of it.
Now you're just making me excited. Calm down. Keep it
Don't
PG
make me
here.
laugh too hard because I'm still so congested. You're just going to hear mucus coming out. It's not going to be cute.
Okay. Your pickup line for the day.
Okay. You ready for this one?
Yep. I don't know why I'm blanking on mine right now, but go ahead.
It's okay. Take your time. I got you.
I got it. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm writing an article about finer things in life. I was wondering if I could interview you.
What's your first question? That was smooth. I'll
Okay.
give you a 6.5, 7.
I'm going to just slide in there.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, especially if you I was just out and about.
yeah, don't worry. I'll wear heels when I ask. I'll carry a journal. The whole car.
202.
202.
Okay. Again, this is original, so don't.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're a paramedic, but I'd risk choking just to get mouth to mouth. No. You know what? 202.
Don't keep bringing that up. Man, what would I rate that? Just so you can get mouth to mouth. I give it a 6. So it's not bad.
What if I said suffocating instead of choking?
I don't think either word would have mattered.
All right. Well,
It's just the fact that you're like, I do anything to get mouth to mouth.
I would. Okay.
Too funny. So where do we want to start with this calm before the storm? Or staying calm in the storm?
Yeah. What about a little flashback to the previous What to Expect When You're Expecting? That movie's great. Let's
That
go
movie
on a
is
little bit of a
great.
tangent.
That
Okay.
movie, and not that we're 40 yet, but this is 40.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely relatable movies, and I can't wait to rewatch that again when I'm 40.
You're 40.
Yep. Yeah, because 30's coming up.
Yeah, you're not even 30 yet, so
No,
calm
I'm
down.
not. Yeah, so our first pregnancy, let's start in the beginning.
Joey.
Let me ask you, since
Just take that away from her, because
Oh. You act like I can
Okay.
reach that. Yeah.
202.
202. Let's go.
Okay.
So, any major differences that you've seen between the beginning and endish of last pregnancy and this pregnancy?
It's not like Kayala is going to watch this at any point, but I feel like the overall excitement, it's a different first time of excitement when it's your first kid.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I feel like we're just overall more prepared and expectant.
That's
Like
for
if
sure.
we, with G, didn't have the things lined up that we don't have lined up right now. Like
What do you mean?
your postpartum stuff.
Oh,
The
yeah.
like, yeah, we basically just got the car seats and the bottles, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
diapers, there's no baby shower.
No.
Didn't even have a baby sprinkle. We've got what we need,
Yeah.
and we know how to get what we need. So I feel like we're just prepped.
We're like
this
chilling
time
this round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the calm before the storm, because
Yeah.
whether it be ignorant or just trusting, I feel like we're just in a
Way better.
calmer place.
Yeah. I definitely think we're in a better space. Just personally. Well, also when we had Gigi, we still had roommates technically.
We still had roommates,
Yeah.
and it was post-COVID and
Yeah.
everything that came after that, which was probably the biggest storm.
Yeah. Yeah, that storm was ginormous, and that was a big one to get over. But I'm with you there. I think like this one, I don't feel like I need. Well, when you're a first time mom, especially mom, I'm not going to say parents because I feel like as a female, I just fall into materialistic things that your kids need. That I was like obsessed with the whole baby registry, and I needed everything and anything that every Instagram mom had on there.
That was the one time in your life where you were materialistic.
Yeah, and it was for our kids. So I just didn't really, I don't know. I felt like also because we were younger parents, just bear with me, bear with me. That we were younger parents. I was already insecure over like the whole being pregnant, gaining weight. So like I was also insecure about what people would think about, excuse me, Joey, about us being younger parents, especially because I don't even think I was off my parents' insurance yet. I was still 20.
You were 26 that year.
Yeah, turning 26 that year. And everyone kept telling me what to do. And I was like, I had nothing to go off of. So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to keep listening to everyone and anyone because I don't really know what to expect. And it really like messed with me, especially because it was during COVID too. So it's like, how much can you actually socialize with other moms? But quite the journey, quite the identity journey for sure. That I don't think I was as prepared for as I am now.
Nope.
So, did you have an identity crisis?
I think we've covered that already. But it, again, recap from maybe episode 1, but just the fear settling in of having a baby girl.
Yep.
And all the darkness that was going on around the world with, I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, I just was fearful for the first time and didn't want her to be viewed as prey.
Yeah.
And just all not so much like the scary stories of somebody taking her. That was not the fear, but just just raising a girl in today's society and culture. But I feel like I'm not as fearful of it now. And she's,
Especially because we have like the world's best community of people and they all have kids too.
Yeah, I'd say not just because if we didn't have that and it was just us raising our kid by ourselves, which I can't imagine. I would say 80% of people, random number, but I feel like a good majority of people just raise their family by themselves and just do it. So if we didn't have not immediate family, but if we didn't have blood family and immediate chosen family too. Oh, yep.
Yeah, your sister is a godparent.
No, I meant that are also having kids.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but having people around us that are going through the same experience definitely makes it easier.
Yeah.
So as far as remaining calm in the storms of life, and we never really structure anything besides the different, I guess, sections of what to cover. Joey? Yes. Okay, but just having a community to go through the storm with.
Yeah.
And yes, that applies in every aspect of life, of like to touch on real life topics, the storms that happened in North Carolina. And yeah, so when physical storms hit, it really does take the community. But then when the, day-to-day life type of a storm hits you, it's the community around you that picks you up. And
yeah, it's just a silent storm. So it's like you either choose to go through it with someone or you don't.
Yep.
Which, if we do end up going through a storm, we're for sure asking for help.
Yeah.
We are not going to be prideful in that area at all.
No, I don't think we've ever really been prideful.
Oh, I definitely was first pregnancy.
Okay.
I was like, we're going to handle this on our own. We don't need help. Because I wanted to prove people wrong. As far as
advice, sure, maybe a little bit ignorant to like, I got this. But as far as, will you watch our kid for a bit?
Yeah, that's different.
So like help with people's time.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Help utilizing people's time was an easy ask.
Yeah.
Because we, again, knew the people, and there were people asking to give us their time.
Yeah, still asking.
Still asking.
My aunt has watched Gigi since the day she was born. Like literally, that week?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Hey, when can I have my Gigi days?" And since then, Gigi's almost 4 now. She has been a consistent babysitter for Gigi, and I'm so thankful.
Yeah, and Jess and Puka lived with us at the time.
Oh yeah.
And so I would say, a year? Gigi was a year and a half or 2 when they
started taking her to the mall and
yes, not just that, but when they didn't physically live in the same place as us.
Oh yeah.
And still, since then, they still wanted their time with G. It wasn't there they were like, oh, we don't live there. We're gonna get our breaks now. We can go. We can spend our night doing X, Y, or Z. They still every Tuesday night want to watch her. And even some weekends.
We're really spoiled in that because we don't even have to ask. They pursue Gigi and call us almost every week to ask to have time with her, which not a lot of families get that.
Yeah, so I'll say I don't think our storms are very mild because we have people in our lives that, let's say, put out the flames.
Oh, for sure.
Or storm management.
Yeah.
Storm management is not really up to us.
No.
And even
I would say our storms are more internal amongst ourselves individually that we deal with.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a temptation to join the hustle.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's technically called a storm. I'm not trying to picture or paint a picture where storms are traumatic events.
No.
Just seasons of life that are rougher to experience.
Yeah. So what would you say would be a potential storm for you coming up with this baby? Because I can tell you a few of mine too, but you probably already know.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's do a forecasting of the future.
Yeah, what's her
the
7-day forecast?
So, well, as you know, and they don't know, probably they don't care, but taking a step into the online business growth platform so that I'm not just purely dependent on being face-to-face with people for my training. So launching that is going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so I'm only 1 week into it. But I was hoping to get at least a month in before Kayala got here to, start the foundations of it and have something organized so that all I have to do is just do the minimal management. I know I'm not going to have the clients filled after 1 month, but at least the process is in play to get the clientele and to have that going.
Yeah. So you're going to be in that hustle.
Yeah. And so I can already foresee, and as you've already seen within this week, I just get into that mode of tunnel vision, which is a gift.
Yes.
Maybe that's ignorant to say, but or arrogant, whatever. I view it as a
don't know.
gift because I'm very task oriented and can get things done. But the flaw of that is at the expense of what?
Yeah.
And that's one thing 2 years ago that Jeff challenged me in, was to not be a man on a mission, but to be a family on a mission, and to bring you and G along with that versus like tugboating you along.
Yeah.
So,
which I will say this, I mean, you haven't been as crazy as I thought you'd be within the work week that you've had. Mm-hmm. So I commend you. You're growing.
Yes, I would like to say that I've learned from my mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's part of facing storms, is understand what storms you faced before and learning from them.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to make the same mistake over and over again.
No.
Or, take the same approach to handling situations if it doesn't work. Or maybe even if it does work, don't be so reliant on self, one. Mm-hmm. But two, don't get caught off guard. So I didn't want to get caught off guard of like pretending like I knew how to handle it just because I don't want to handle it the same way I did.
Yes. Yeah, that right there is the only thing that I ever get concerned about.
I'm glad that you understood.
Yes. I speak Martin occasionally. Okay. But I'd say like that's the only area where I get concerned sometimes when you do get in that space. But I feel like this time around especially is very different. And I have full confidence in you. Like, I'm not worried about it at all. And I think a lot of it is because you bring me into it, which thank you. And even when you don't need my help.
Thank Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. But even if you don't need my help, just like you do ask for my input or you ask for my brain, which I'm like shocked. I'm really shocked. Or even like something simple like making that little PDF flyer for you. I was like all about it. So you're crushing it, sir. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your storm is not a storm yet.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a storm until I'm in recovery mode and I literally won't be able to do anything. And I know you're going to want to get stuff done.
That's the real...
Yeah.
That's why this is kind of the calm before the storm.
Yeah. Which I think it'll work out well because we'll just invite family over to...
Yeah, again, thank God for resources. But, You
don't want to try your button today?
Oh, here we go.
Ah! Every time. Always the wrong button.
Anyways.
I'll get you a label.
No, Riley. It's this being in the way. Or I should just...
It'll just be in the way forever then, I guess.
I will never make that mistake again.
That's a lie. Episode 12, still making the same mistake.
Nope, because I'm going to memorize them. Put intentionality into memorizing each color on the soundboard.
You just told me it had nothing to do with that. It was everything about you seeing it.
Yeah, but if I memorize which one's which, I don't have to try to read. I could just look at the color and know.
Okay.
Watch. Don't challenge me.
I will always challenge you. I'll be your first person to challenge you.
We'll talk about that maybe next week. Support challenge matrix.
Yeah, that might be that's a good segue.
Okay. Segue? We're not talking it right now. We'll cover it next week.
Oh, yeah. Ignore me.
Yep.
See? Sorry, guys. This is like day 5 of cold medicine.
Yeah.
And no sleep.
But part of the storm is preparing for it. Mm-hmm. Again, this not to be insensitive, but just like with hurricanes and all that type of stuff, storms that you foresee, you can do some level of prep.
Yeah.
So what are the ways that you think we are preparing for the storm ahead? You mentioned
my
side. What about you?
Mine is going to be a lot of, for sure, internal physical pain, all that stuff, and dealing with like autoimmune remission, not being in remission anymore potentially. So stocking up on all the vitamins, stocking up on all like the things that I know will make me feel good physically so that I can at least function mentally. But I really think that that's going to be the only hard part is just being physical and being physical with a toddler. Because we didn't have that.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
too.
Like having to take care of a newborn and a toddler at the same time while you're physically and in pain.
Thank
and dealing
God
with all that is going to be
on the bathroom
different.
side of things. She's been potty trained for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
But she actually knows how to wipe, flush, wash her hands, all that by herself.
And she's highly independent. Like she wants to do all that stuff
her
on
level
her
of
own.
independence now is
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I no. People who have multiple kids with diapers, I'm like, kudos to you. That takes a strong person. I don't think I would have been strong enough if we got pregnant right away. So it's God's timing. He really does have perfect timing because I think it's so great.
Yep. So I know we've basically covered a lot of family aspect of it, but maybe we should just provide a little update of how the week or month has gone with G and just the family. Is there anything that stood out?
With Gigi?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, besides just how great she's been even post our trip, like she really has
Hawaii
turned a corner.
changed her.
Yeah, Hawaii really changed her. I don't know. Since we've been home, things have happened so.
Since we've been home.
Oh my gosh! Since we've been home, things have happened so quickly and so slowly at the same time. That, like, we're talking about prepping Gigi for school, and talking about homeschooling. So, what does that look like for us? And you're trying to build a business. We're about to have a newborn baby. I work essentially part-time, full-time in a way. So what is that actually going to look like homeschooling for the both of us? And is it going to be like, are we going to be able to balance it? Or those are things that I am kind of like, we need to make sure we sit down and have a good table talk about. But and family-wise, everyone is sick right now. So including us. So that's been tough. Me.
You and G. I am.
He does not want. He's the one who got me sick, first of all. Yes.
Whatever. My immune system is very strong.
You have a great immune system. So
my sickness lasts. I probably get 50% of the damage and only a quarter of the length of time of being sick.
Right. But just don't be ignorant to your immune suppressed wife because my immune system is shot.
Yeah.
So if I even get sick,
I wake up one morning like, my throat's a little itchy.
Yeah. That was you.
Let me have some vitamin C
yesterday.
packs. Okay, I feel fine. And then boom. 2 days later, she's like.
First of all, I wasn't crying about it.
No, that was like the out of breath.
Oh my gosh.
Like
I'm winded. Just every time I get up to go pee in the middle of the night, I have to like sit up, wait for 5 minutes for my heart rate to calm down, and then I can go back to sleep. That one sit up, 202. Yeah, 202. It's a lot to carry. It's a lot to carry 200 pounds. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
I really do feel it in it. Not to put any body shaming out there or anything, but
how do you do it?
If I ever let myself get to 200 pounds just as like a basic, normal human being, I would be significantly like just disappointed in myself because this is just a lot to bear on someone's body. The amount of
fitness conversation. Here we go.
Yeah. So, oh dear.
The can has been opened.
My poor legs are suffering.
I can understand how it, forgive me for how this sounds. I'm not trying to shame people, but I can see how it starts. That's like the beginning of the downhill effect.
Oh, yeah.
Is like if your body is physically feeling the ailments from the extra weight gain, you're not going to be as physically capable or motivated because of your physical incapabilities. That was a mouthful.
It's just way harder to get out of that slump.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, I'm pregnant, so it's different. But it's like the one thing I'm looking forward to the most is being back in the gym and getting back on a routine and being able to fuel my body correctly the way I want it and not the way he wants it, because I might eat something and he doesn't like it. And then I'm like, okay, now I got to go throw up or something.
What was something that you would normally enjoy that you haven't been able to enjoy this pregnancy, food-wise?
Food. All food. All food. Point blank, period.
So is he going to be picky?
I don't know. Because
Gigi's not picky. And they
not
say
at
that
all.
your kids are, opposite of each other. Gigi's high energy. We're hoping Kayla will be like super laid back. Gigi will eat anything and everything and whenever she wants. Like, what did she say the other day?
With what?
I was either cooking, I was doing something. She's like, well, I'm hungry.
Oh, we were going to go to the grocery store and Grandma was here.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, Grandma, do you want anything? Are you hungry? And she's like, I'm hungry.
Gigi.
I want food.
Gigi
So
said.
Gigi said, yeah. She's like, I'm hungry. I want food. And I was like, you always want food. You just ate.
Yeah.
It's like I was asking Grandma. But yeah, I think he's probably going to be picky. Cause
I was picky growing up.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be rough then. Yeah. Because I mean, within the first 6 months of our pregnancy, I mean, I was not in that kitchen cooking as often as I was before we got pregnant.
Mm-mm.
Like we were meal prepping, macro checking, weighing out our food, doing all that fun stuff. And
No, we were not.
I was.
Okay.
Every morning, my 5 pieces of turkey bacon,
okay.
my
yes.
Siggy's yogurt.
You're right. Which, shout out Siggy's yogurt. That
I
is
love
the best
that.
Greek yogurt. You just add a little bit of cinnamon, some honey.
It's so simple. It's so good. I don't like yogurt usually. That's the only one that I like. And if I think Jess brought over yogurt one time.
It was a cashew-based yogurt.
Yeah,
It's
and it
not
was
the same.
disgusting. And I hated it. And I was like, yeah. And I'll never go back to Yoplait yogurt or whatever it's called. I just
Sugar
can't.
yogurt?
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward to all of that. Because right now, honestly, the thought of cooking just makes me feel sick.
But the thought of eating my cookie.
Like, if you cook, I'm okay. But if I cook, for some reason, like, food just grosses me out right now, which is not normal because I love food and I love being in the kitchen and prepping and cooking and doing all that stuff. But yeah, he's probably going to be picky.
All right, a little bit of a segue. See? Segue.
Oh,
Yeah.
segue.
We covered family time, the previous storms. Should we go into the verse in reflection or into, like, questions from our athletes? Save that for the end.
Let's go reverse, dear
Reverse.
Lord. Reverse reflection. Verse in reflection.
Okay. So, many people have heard the story of Jesus calming the storm, which it just is so easy to repeat and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matthew 8:26. I'm not going to go before, but at 23 is when it starts about him and his disciples getting to the boat, crossing the sea, and then a storm hits. So his disciples start freaking out. While he's taking a nap, they come get him. They're like, yo.
Yo. Wait.
Not according
Wait, pause before you start this. Can you please talk in modern day slang
Yeah,
the way Jesus would?
Okay, fine.
Go.
Which they have a Gen Z Bible.
And
or
I think
whatever.
it's
Not that I'm Gen
hilarious.
Z, not at all. Millennial. But
Hardcore.
anyways. You know what would be even funnier? Have you heard of the Pigeon Bible?
No.
It's basically, how they speak Pigeon out in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
that.
God, stop.
Yeah. I'll be the expert of it. That
We're gonna
sometime.
we're gonna read different versions in that way
Mm-hmm.
the next
Okay.
time we do this.
We should have done that for our Hawaii trip. But anyways.
It's okay. New
All right.
ideas.
So the disciples go to him. They're like, yo, save us. We're going to drown. To which Jesus replied, you have little faith. Why are you so afraid? Then he got up, rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, what kind of man is this? Even the winds and seas obey him. So the faith aspect of the calm before the storm, or calming the storms.
Yeah, which isn't really up to you.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Same
Watch this. Watch this. See? Okay. But yeah, it's not up to you. And I feel like that's definitely a part of maturing as an adult and just in your faith in general. But you might, like, talking to myself here, I may have thought that I was trusting God with my life. But when the storm actually hit, fear settled in. Mm-hmm. And you can't, well, again, if I say can't, it's just, forgive me for whatever. But you can't have faith and fear at the same time.
No.
I forgot how it goes. But fear is having faith just in the wrong thing. I think that's the saying.
That's actually, yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so your faith is going somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're going to feed into the fear, or you're going to have faith that God's got it under control.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that your life's going to always be sunshine and rainbows, because there is such thing as God's discipline in your life. So you can't just be like, why, God? And he's like, well, I mean, did you see?
Yeah.
If you're living your life away from me, there's going to be consequences of actions. Cause and effect doesn't go like, God's a just God. He's a loving God. At the same time, I feel like he does follow cause and effect is a real thing for him.
Yeah.
Not like consequences that he enforces, but if your heart's not seeking him, he's going to give you what you want because he is just. So
yeah,
that might take away from the calming the sea aspect of it, but
I feel like there's two. Whenever I hear of something like that, where it's either you're feeding your faith or feeding your fear, but it's in like the worst human way possible. Just to go on like a side tangent, I feel like there's two manic approaches that you have to be cautious about, and there is the fear manic of like you're overly anxious. That's all you can think about. And the only time you pray is to get a result from God regarding your fear, and you're not really like practicing or putting any work into it. Or the manic approach of like, everything is rainbows and sunshines. Don't worry, God will take care of it. But like life is still happening and you're kind of just a sitting duck, not really applying yourself. So either way, if you're not applying yourself in both aspects and you just have like either an optimistic or a pessimistic attitude towards it, you just got to be aware of that to not fall into either, and like really do the work within yourself and with him, and whatever that looks like. I mean, what does that look like when you're in a storm? Like when you were in your storm, when we first had Gigi, what did that work look like for you?
Getting out of it.
Getting out of the storm without being caught in the manic of fear or the manic of faith. What was that work that you put in with God that actually helped you produce fruit?
A lot of back and forth. And like, call it self-righteousness of like, the blinders were on and me thinking that if I did X, Y, and Z, therefore I'm a man of faith and therefore God's going to reward me. For some reason, I fell back into that mindset. But as far as what pulled me out was, one, your patience, and then seeing the hurt on multiple levels of like, not literally like physically, but emotionally, and just the level of stress and draining, just the level of stress that it caused you. So seeing the effect of my selfishness and how my arrows in perspective caused the chaos around, I was like, oh, shoot, something's clearly doesn't add up. And then two, the community around, which I love Frank. I love Avery. I love Jason. Those are my game night bros.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they had a like, yo, man, what's going on?
No.
It actually came from like the ladies of the church.
Yeah.
And then obviously Jeff was hit like.
I think it was because I
Amen.
was talking to the ladies a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. Can you guys help me?
Yeah, and look, they maybe they did, or maybe what they asked me and I just put on a front, or I wouldn't say necessarily I lied or was trying to, make something seem like it wasn't. I think to your point, it was that manic faith approach of like, no, everything's good. I was so blinded and selfish looking at like how I was perceiving things. It's like, I'm good. I don't know how everybody else is, but I'm good. So, yeah. And then getting out of that, having a little bit of self-forgiveness. And going back to this passage here. And so meaning Matthew 8, where his disciples who are spending plenty of time with him, they just witnessed, I'm not going to try and lie and act like I know which miracle, but he had definitely performed the water to wine miracle before, maybe healing the blind man. Jesus had performed many miracles right in front of them. So they knew his power. Mm-hmm. And yet, as the storm is going on, they still somehow had this level of fear of like, what are you going to do? How come you're not doing anything? Mm-hmm. And so if the people that spent all their time with him still had that gut reaction to be like chaotic versus resting, it gave me some, I don't know, peace of like, hey, it happens to the best of us type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, your turn. I talked a lot.
Well, I think it's a cool perspective. Trying to think of my last, I
would say sorry.
No, go for it.
As I was coming out of mine.
Yeah. I was
naturally, because of how fatigued and tired you were, you went into yours.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I was, mine was slightly different because I definitely went into like, all I wanted to do was be in the manic of like, not fear, but like, he's just going to take care of everything and I'm just going to do me. So I was really selfish in that where I'm like, yeah, I'll have a bottle of wine every single night because I'm stressed out.
Bottle?
Oh, yeah.
You did not have a bottle every night.
I was definitely having at least 2 to 3 glasses of wine.
Wow.
And especially when I was coaching one of the high school programs because that was also stressing me out because it just wasn't paying enough and I was dealing with a lot of parent issues and then I was also learning how to like run a program on top of postpartum depression and figuring out our marriage. And there was just like all these things. And I was like, I was kind of allowing myself in a way, like enabling myself to be like, it's okay to just be a mess or it's okay. And being like, oh, that's forgiveness when really it wasn't. And it just wasn't a pretty image of how I think a wife or a mom or even just like me personally, I'm not like that. So me going into that space, when I did talk to the girls about it from our community, I was like really shameful about it. I was like, I don't want you guys to know my dark side. But my dark side was like, I wanted to go hang out with my cousins and go to the bar on the weekends and like leave my kid to just hang out with you. And I was like, okay with it, and then when I would go and hang out with them, I'm like, that's not okay. But that guilt wouldn't until I actually went to go hang out with the girls from our community. So getting out of that space, it took a big humble pill. And I think it took time also. And a lot of patience. Mm-hmm. I think even from your end too, you actually had a lot of patience in that where I was like, oh, it's okay. Like I can be human and my husband's going to support me. But I don't know. If you had checked me a little sooner, I probably would have like maybe snapped out of it a little bit.
Oh, snapped out. Not
Snapped out.
No, you snapped.
No, I'd snap. I'm maybe if I got a check in from like the girls from our community, or I think my mom actually checked me.
She did.
Yeah. And so my mom,
God for mom.
yeah, my mom actually was like, dude, what are you doing? And she was the first person to do it. And I was like, you're right. Because if you said anything, I was like,
yeah,
like, don't talk to me. So
porcupine.
Definitely. So if it wasn't for my mother, and then shortly after my mom, shout out to you, Mom. Yeah. And then shortly after Mom, it was having a check-in with Jeff and Grace too, like going to dinner with them. Then I think it would have definitely hindered our marriage for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm really thankful for that. So it took the village just kind of being like, hey, check-in time, what's going on? And like me just swallowing that shameful, humble pill of like, you know that this isn't like filling your cup. Actually, it's just you're doing essentially the same thing to like hurt someone else. And I'm like, yeah, that's not good. Yeah. So maybe we should reset. But
so there's a good analogy where I guess I'll just share the analogy first and then comment on that story. But the analogy is fishermen who are fishing for crabs. And so they put the big old crate down, get like 100 crabs in the crate. And as they're closing the crate, obviously crabs try to crawl out. And a common thing is that, let's say one crab's crawling its way up to the top, the ones underneath it will grab it and pull it down. It's like, if we're stuck in here, you're going to be stuck in here. And I feel like that summarizes what you were going through, is you were not surrounding yourself with people that were trying to get you out of it.
No.
You were surrounding yourself with people that were stuck in their own things of life and were pulling you down deeper into it.
Oh, yeah.
So who you surround yourself with during the storms matters a lot. Because yes, one, it's you and God. So two, when that is not there, you've got to have a community or at least one other person that has that godly perspective that can shine the light on you. Because otherwise... Yeah.
And I think it also has to be the right person too. Because if it were my sisters, I would have been like, yeah, whatever, shut it.
But they would never be the ones to give you that advice anyways.
No, because they're also children themselves. But yeah, no, I'm so glad we're out of that storm. The storm coming is definitely not going to look like that because there's no desire on either. I think that's the storm that's coming up is definitely going to be like a pace of life thing.
Yeah, and I think rather than it being a struggle here, I think the temptation might be to go into our hermit crab mode of like shutting off the external world and being like, look, we're too burnt out to deal with you. Just keeping it honest. Like, and because I kind of already sense that occurring.
Oh, for
Not
sure.
like here, but just as the busyness and everything happens, I feel like maybe I have not had my eyes on other people or arrows out to. So that's that.
I can see that. Yeah, we went into like a whole rabbit hole.
Yep. But it still answered. It was a great perspective and insight into just how real people deal with things.
Yeah.
We are humans. We do not not that we try to put on a front of like this fake happy marriage. We have a happy marriage. We love each other.
We do. But every marriage goes through their season. And we went through ours early on in our marriage, but late in our relationship, I'd say. I think the only other storm before us having Gigi, because that's a huge transitional period, is just being parents, is
getting over the honeymoon and the 1 year hump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we went like almost like 5+ years without really having some kind of like, I don't know, big growth hump.
Mm-hmm.
And now I look at every like disagreement or season of life we're in is just like a big growth hump. And whether it's yours or mine, we just both have to kind of allow that pimple to grow and pop and then move on to the next one. And then there'll probably be another one once we get a little older, but we'll take it day by day.
That's what we should have talked during the family time. And I wish we had a picture, but Gigi had a huge sty on her left eye. It was like,
I do have a picture actually.
Okay.
She looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And she calls it her scary eye.
Yeah.
She's like, do I have a scary eye? And I'm like, oh yeah, girl, it's a scary eye.
Yeah, it's like Rocket Power Tito. I'll give you the stink eye.
I'm like, nobody remembers Rocket Power except you.
Oh, well.
Unless you were born before 95.
Hey. It's on Paramount Plus, so people can watch it.
We need to do a statistical study on how many people have Paramount Plus.
Whatever. Everybody. No, not everybody. Never mind. Rocket Power is great. Go watch it.
This my good eye.
That's I was going to say. Some 51st dates.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this my good eye.
Yeah, that was Gigi. We'll definitely put up a picture because that was...
Yeah.
I've never seen a sty that big. And I don't know if it's because her eyes are also just ginormous, but...
No, I think it's just being a kid.
Yeah.
And constantly trying to rub it, and it just like got severely irritated.
But I am glad that it's not pink eye. Yeah. I'll take a sty over pink eye any day. Because if she gets pink eye, I know for sure I'm getting pink eye next. And then the dogs are going to get it. And then you're going to have it for like...
10 seconds.
Yeah, 24 hours and be cool. And I'm going to have it for like a month. And then I'm just going to be like, this is life.
Ooh, if only there wasn't a copyright issues. We would play Frank Sinatra's That's Life.
Oh my gosh. I do really like that song.
Yeah.
But okay, questions?
Questions from our athletes. So he's not going to watch this. She's not going to watch this.
You always say that, and then people end up watching it.
No. It's... Okay, I'm not going to name drop because they're minors, and I'm not going to put kids' names out there like that. But one of the girls that I train... I've been having her boyfriend hop in as well because he's didn't have very good mentors in his life. So I want to be a good, safe place for him as a male. Mm-hmm. So he's a very quiet kid. She's a very outgoing girl. And throughout the workout, I'll ask him, questions and whatnot. I get like 2 words out of him. Like, yeah, okay, yeah. But today, the question he asked...
Tell me it's something like really... I don't even know what the correct
methodical
word.
Is. For that what you're going to say?
Yeah. I was like, it's something real deep.
No, it is.
See?
Yeah.
It's always the quiet ones.
Yep.
Because that was you too.
Mm-hmm. But he said, biggest win and biggest fail.
So many.
Yeah, I was like, probably everything we just said right now. But
surface level or like... things we're going through.
Yeah, but I'd say what has been my biggest win would be coming out of that storm. And it was a very good time, very well timed question. He didn't know that we were talking about the calm before the storm or anything, but biggest win is having the right people around me. Again, it's nothing that I did. It's all God and his grace, but coming out of that season of life has been definitely the biggest win. And before that was my biggest fall, which I would, your biggest wins tend to come after your biggest falls.
Yeah. Once you've definitely hit some kind of rock bottom.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you were going through that stage and you were growing out your hair, it's like you put all your burdens in that bun.
I did. And then I cut it off.
And once you cut it off, I was like, I'm like, oh, dude, I feel like you could breathe now. Like everything's okay. Whatever's in the past and the Hakuna Matata. Like that's it's like everything in the past is in the past and like all's forgiven. Just
all my lessons were going into that bun.
That tension bun, man, was giving everyone a headache.
Anyways, your biggest win and fail.
My biggest win and fail. My biggest win is birthing 2 kids under 30. I'd say that that's a really big win. My biggest fail.
202.
202. Hitting 202. I can't help that. That's
It's just
something
funny.
different. It really is. If you know.
Now, if I said that during the first pregnancy,
heck no, dude. I would have crushed you, I think.
literally. No, I'll just.
Were you gonna get? I was waiting for your button. Yeah. I'd say biggest fail was being overly complacent with certain things and telling myself it was okay. And it really wasn't. And I wasn't being like a good, supportive wife, mom, or even just daughter of faith, honestly, the way I know I should have and could have been. But learning lessons, pimples.
Pimples.
Big pimples. Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to be popped.
Yeah, and sometimes they hurt.
It's the little ones on your back that hurt the most. All right. 2 more questions.
Okay.
Because one I did say I would get, and then another one was just another good one. Not that this one's not good, but one of the girls from Ken's team, again, not name dropping teenagers because they're minors, but she might watch this. I don't know. We'll see. What's more influential / important in life? Being creative or being intelligent?
That's a really good question. Do you have an answer? And I feel like you're going to say one thing and I'm going to say another.
Yeah, I was just one, the living out what gift you were given is more influential. Don't try to be something you're not. So as long as you're not intentionally trying to be creative when you're not the most, like, I'm not the most creative person. And
you are in ways. You just don't know. You just
problem
don't realize
solving.
it.
Yes.
Problem solving, and you're actually very creative. You're really creative in like the fun imagination games to play with Gigi. Like as a dad, you're very creative.
All right. But to me, that comes across as problem solving. Not like I'm. To me, it comes across as a logical thing, intellectual thing. I'm not like visualizing imagination and like trying to. I'm not.
Yeah, but it's still
very
very
imaginative on a visual side of things.
It's still very clever, which takes some kind of creative ability.
Yep. And then, what's your answer? Creative or intelligent?
I mean, I think
Look,
there's
the world needs both.
Yeah, I think
Short
there's
answer,
a fine
but-
balance in both. Whatever your strong suit is with being intelligent, like whether it's in a certain subject or, you know that, like if something just makes sense to you, then thrive in that. But don't get lost in your intelligence and lose your ability to be creative, because that's what makes people people. And that's what brings new ideas and innovations. And
Yeah, that's what separates humans from AI.
yeah, no kidding. You can't walk around like a computer, but then you can't also walk around like a freelance hippie. So I think if you can find that balance in both, then thrive in it. I mean, I'd say I'm more creative than I am. I'm intelligent in certain areas, but I thrive more in my creative side. But I know I'm very analytical and I'm intelligent in certain areas, but I'm also not very strong in other areas. So do I want to strengthen my wits in that all the time? No, but do I try? Yeah.
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 All right, last question. Would you rather be famous for something embarrassing or unknown for doing something great?
Unknown for doing something great.
Yeah.
Hands down.
That's 100% my
Yeah.
thing too. But then she said, well, what if that fame from doing something embarrassing, not intentionally doing something embarrassing, not like fake social media stuff nowadays, but you happen to be caught in the act doing something embarrassing. It's like you can leverage that fame to then be influential and do the great stuff.
Yeah, but I would be way too insecure to. I would just be thinking about me falling short and failing if I was to, because I'm, again, overly analytical. That I'm like, what could I have done differently that day so that I didn't do that?
Yeah, I feel like me trying to do something great would be embarrassing.
Yeah, I'd rather, we're such behind the scenes people. Like even us starting this podcast was like really weird for us. And hearing ourselves talk and then having to go back and edit it and being like...
that's why I look at you. I don't tend to look at the camera.
Yeah.
Which is going to be another challenging aspect of doing the online stuff.
We got to mic you up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to make fun of you a little bit just because it's...
I know.
Just because I know it's uncomfortable for you. But I know if it were me, I'd hope that you'd make fun of me too. Cause
yeah, we're gonna do the whole. This podcast is brought to you and powered by.
Yep.
Maybe we'll start doing that.
Brought to you and powered by what?
Spirit, Mind, Body, Athletics.
Yeah. Check it out.
Yep.
Check it out. And Sunday Cool.
Oh yeah. By the way, ninjas are butterflies. Sent a little bit of merch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They sent you merch?
Yep. It's because I enrolled in their Patreon thing so I can get their episodes early. Just because I like listening to it as I drive earlier on the week versus waiting till Friday. But yeah, part of it was them sending me this hoodie.
Oh, shout out. They really are
They're great.
Fun podcast, YouTube.
Yeah, we're not fun, but if you want to watch something fun and entertaining, go watch the Ninjas Are Butterflies podcast.
Yeah, we're working on our personalities a little bit.
We're infants in the game.
Yeah, we are.
But
if you like being educated, that's us. Intellects. Ish.
Well, like just authentic.
Emotionally
not that they
intelligent.
Aren't. Yeah. Just more practical things of life. Whereas they're like, Andrew shreds on the guitar and he's extremely musically gifted. So they do a song at the beginning of every episode and it's just great. They're so creative in that aspect.
And tell me why they can all sing. Like even if it's not on purpose, they can all sing.
Yep.
You've heard, well, if you watch any of our previous episodes, you know that neither of us can sing.
No. She's about 20% gifted in that area, and I'm about 0%. Okay, I'll give you 50, and I'm like,
well, thanks for going up. I was just going to say you're at least at a 10%. Well, I'm at a 20. But this year, for the first time ever, out of our almost 12 years together, is the most I have ever heard you sing.
Yeah, because for the longest time, to me, singing was like getting in studio and going after him. Like I'm not that kind of person.
No.
But just
you singing because you like enjoy a song or?
Yeah, I never viewed that as like singing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going all out. I'm just.
We're not asking for a choir performance.
Yeah.
I've always
like, oh, that counts as singing? Okay, then I'll sing.
Yeah, like humming in the shower. You've never like sang in the shower before?
No.
Not even like when you're cleaning, like hum to a song?
No.
Never?
No.
Me and Gigi have like nightly jam sessions when you're at work. Like, well, we had one the other day. I put a song on, started dancing, and I was like singing horribly. And Gigi was in it, and then she started dancing, and she started singing too. She had no idea what the lyrics were. And it was great.
All right. Well, that's that. I guess we'll start singing more.
We're going to practice our vocal cords after we get over this. There we go. Some do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
No, I remember being in kindergarten or first grade when they had a music class, which you would just go to for like 30 minutes once a week, and doing the do re mi thing.
Oh yeah.
And that was when I realized I was monotone and cannot sing. I was like, hold on, I'm just not going anywhere with it.
You're just talking.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's why you like rap.
Yeah. All right. That's that. Goodbye.
Good night.
Thank you for watching.